Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the season for the OUA basketball show. How time flies when you are having fun. Just to get out of the way, off the top, my name's Griffin Porter. I am your host here. Unfortunately, we had our guest fall through this week, so it's just me talking at you for a few minutes very early in the season, but I'm going to do what I always do when I don't have a guest and talk about what's been happening in the world of OUA basketball lately. So hopefully that's enough to keep your interest. My beautiful visage will have to be the only thing you'll see today. So, luckily for you, I'll be talking about OUA basketball, and we are only one week in, but we're already getting some great results. Not enough to maybe project a winner of any of our championships yet, but certainly a lot to be intrigued by. So, why don't we start on the women's side, and we'll start with the first game of the year. The Guelph Griffins beat Ottawa by 10 to open the year with a big win. That's maybe a bit of an upset just based on the historical stature of that Ottawa Gigi's program. So they won't like starting the year off with a loss, and that's a good sign for Guelph. That's really something for them to build on. Looking forward to seeing what the Griffins do as we go forward. Elsewhere across the league, Kiara Letlow had 15 points in her Queen's debut to beat Lakehead. I know that was a hotly anticipated one by me and by many other fans. Kimora Stafford scored 29 points to lead Waterloo to a win over York. And Western using a big team effort to score 92 points against Nipissing. That was a big 92 to 82 win, an absolute shootout in Western versus Nipissing, and the Mustangs come out on top. Finally, the big women's game, the last one that I wanted to look at, was a great game between TMU and Brock. Madeline Weinert, friend of the show, the best player in the province, 27 points and 15 rebounds. But it's the TMU Bold who come out on top in this one. 25 points from the great Katrina Garvey as she leads her Bold to a win over Brock. Those two teams played a great playoff game last year, and now they're going head to head early on in this season. So thank the schedule makers for that one. That game was a lot of fun. Over on the men's side, the big headline for me this weekend was the performance of Harold Santa Cruz with the Lakehead Thunderwolves. He's off to a really hot start. Scored 56 points over two Wolves wins, combined points over two games. There was an especially impressive win over the Queens Gales, and that one withstood a great game from friend of the show, Ollie Engen, and Lakehead still managed to come out on top. Meanwhile, OUA West teams off to a good start. Western, Laurier, and Windsor all starting the year 2-0. And the OUA East, where normally we talk about all the championship contenders coming out of the OUA East, that's where all the premier basketball is played. They're off to a slow start. Carleton, the only team in that entire division to get a win in opening weekend. All the other teams in that division winless right now. Still very, very early. I have no concerns about Ottawa or Queens or any of those other good OUA East teams. But for now, a little bit of a funky looking standings over there when you look at the OUA.ca standings page. Speaking of teams in the OUA East, the GGs of Ottawa got 23 points and 15 rebounds from Brock Newton. That wasn't enough to overcome Guelph in that season opener. Other notable games around this league, Waterloo, a massive comeback. They score 30 points in the fourth quarter. They were down by 15 at the near the end of the third, but they score 30 points in the fourth and storm back to beat the York Lions 65 to 62. Stefan Prika had 23 points off the bench in that win. Lions, they're going to be kicking themselves on that one. That was a good chance to get the year off to a good start. Not quite able to get it done, but still something to build on there. In terms of games to look forward to this weekend, like I said, not too much analysis to be done so far. We're very early in the season. As we get more looks at these teams, I'm looking forward to breaking down more how they play, what they're looking to do to each other, and especially as we get towards those playoff matchups at the end of the year, then we'll really have a good look. But for now, I don't have too much analysis for you guys yet. A little more summary than analysis in this show, unfortunately. But in terms of games to look forward to, there's always games to look forward to in the OUA. Friday night features Lakehead traveling down to take on TMU. We'll call that our men's Friday game to watch. I'll be circling that one. We talked about Harold Santa Cruz. Can he keep it going against Aaron Rooms and the TMU Bold? That one will be a lot of fun. Saturday men's game to watch. I'm giving you two games to watch per gender this weekend because I think that's the what I owe you guys since I wasn't able to secure the guest. I wasn't able to clinch it. So the Saturday men's game to watch, I'm going with Brock versus McMaster. I think that should be a fun matchup. Two schools that I think have high hopes this season, really wanting to break into that next tier for them, get to that next level. So Brock and Mac, I'm looking forward to seeing who comes out on top of that. And I'll throw in a bonus one because on Sunday we got TMU versus U of T. That is always a lot of fun, a good Toronto rivalry, some Toronto basketball on display on Sunday. If you're in the city, go out to that game. Make sure you're finishing celebrating a World Series win, and then go to TMU versus U of T. That'll be a really fun day of basketball. Over on the women's side, Windsor is starting the year 2-0, and now they'll welcome Queens into their house on Friday. We talked about how Queens beat Lakehead already, so now they got the Windsor Lancers and the undefeated Windsor Lancers at that. I think that will be a high-quality matchup, and we'll keep a close eye on the Gales all weekend as they head to Western on the Saturday as well. Queens versus Western, always worth a watch. Gold and purple. What's better than that? I don't really make picks on this show, so I'm going to keep that to myself. All right. Thank you all so much for watching this quick episode of the OUA Basketball Show. We will be back next week. I promise you, next week we will have a guest. We will have a great guest. I'm going to get the best guest to make up to you guys not having a guest this week. But have a great week. Enjoy the OUA basketball. Make sure you tune in on OUA.tv, and we will talk to you next week. I'm Griffin Porter. Thanks for watching.